Welcome to Hip Hop Now Podcast. If you're from the future, you know what to do. Get your ass out of here. Don't disrespect the legend. Hip hop is here to stay. Let's get right into the business. What up, y'all? I am your host, Vegas, and this is Hip Hop Now Podcast, a podcast specifically designed to keep you caught up on all things hip hop, music, and culture that happened throughout the week. But welcome to a sorta, kinda bonus episode. Real quick, shout out to those who have been listening on audio form, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I appreciate you. And any other audio podcasting platform you prefer. But also shout out to those watching right here on YouTube at Hip Hop Now Pod. Trying to get to 25,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, please subscribe today. We are at 21,000 subscribers and climbing slowly now, but so what? Still going up, bars, I guess. So without further ado, let's get right into the business. Now, at the beginning of the year, I had all these ideas, and I'm not even going to pretend like they're original ideas, but I think they're cool ideas that I see other podcasters, other people on YouTube do when it comes to content. And of course, opinions are subjective, just like mine. But I wanted to every month just tell you, the hip hop fan that's always kind of got your ear to the street, what's good, what's happening in the music, what's dope, and sometimes at the end of the year, when you see all these lists, it could be overwhelming for someone who maybe only has time to listen to one or two at a time. So releasing a best of the month podcast, or, as a part of my podcast every month, was a great idea to me, because that way you could say, okay, let me see what was good in January. Boom, bet I'm gonna go listen to those. And then by the time we get to the end of February, you might be ready for some more. It's like, oh, well, let me see if anything hot dropped in February, and so on and so forth. Well, with that being said, if you subscribe to this channel, you listen and watch frequently, I didn't do that. Okay. A lot of other opportunities came up. I tried a couple of things like interviews, which I may have another one coming up for you pretty soon. But I think the best way to do this ahead of a new year starting in January is to just recap up until September. That means January 2025 to September 2025 of what were the best albums of those months. Now, I know kind of contradicts these things where it says, that's still a lot of albums to go and listen to. Well, you listen to what you want, but please believe, in each month, I'm not going to name all the albums that were good or dope, because in some months, like July, there were a lot. So I'm going to pick what I thought was the best from each month and hang in there with me. I'm not going to say much about everything, but I'm going to say enough. So let's get started. January 2025, Jim Jones, At the Church Steps. Hands down for me, best album of that month, released in the slow month after the holidays. But nevertheless, a good enough album that it has been in my best of the year category so far. I mean, we almost over. So February, I Am God, and Ill City, City of God, did an interview with I Am God. You should check that out also when you go check the album out. Dave East and Ransom, Final Call. That one I was a little on, but then it grew on me, and I was like, yo, this is dope. What am I thinking? Smith and Wesson, Infinity. You probably forgot about that, right? Dope album. And West Side Gun 12. You already know how I feel about that. March, Saba and No ID, from the collection of Saba and No ID. Very dope album. DJ Fresh, Late Night Freeway Vibes Part 6. I was rocking to this in February. You couldn't have told me it wasn't like summertime or something. And maybe the weather had changed by then, right? Because I don't think our February was that crazy. Nevertheless, very dope album. That's an instrumental album, by the way. April, Lloyd Banks, AON Part 3. Very dope for the boom bap. You want bars, you got them right there. Wiz Khalifa, Kush and Orange Juice. I was like so on this and I kind of liked it, but over time it's really grown on me. It's cool. It's dope. I think it's a decent follow-up to the original. Even though I may have reviewed it in a way that seemed like it wasn't that good, I thought it was cool for what it was. And again, even when I review albums, sometimes, time passes and I go back and I say, let me give it another listen. And now it's not new and I'm hearing things maybe I haven't heard in the previous 3 listens, right? But nevertheless, sometimes it bees like that with music. Sometimes you go back and be like, nah, I mess with this. This is cool. Not one of the best of the year to me, but cool. Also in April, Fly Anakin, The Forever Dream. Now, I didn't listen to this in April because I didn't know it was out. I might have heard it in the summertime. I saw somebody else. Matter of fact, when everybody started putting out their best of 2025 so far, and I watched a couple of videos and I saw this album pop up by Fly Anakin, and I was like, I kind of like the way they talking about it. I'm not the biggest fan of that dude, but let me check it out. It's good. It's good. And I'm mad I didn't really get to it until the summer, but hey, there you have it. May of 2025, Master Killer Balance, another album that in May I did not listen to. I might have listened to this in August, no lie. And when I heard it, I was like, wow. In April, I think the Wu dropped that album and I thought it was okay, but as you can see, I haven't mentioned it because there's no desire to go back to it. It's just better music out, including Master Killer's Balance. Master Killer's album Balance sounds like what the Wu album should have sounded like. And I don't even hate that Wu album. It's just, I think this is better. 100 Grand Royce, It's Personal Part 2. Very dope album. Bars, the beats. He's an excellent beat picker. Like, he knows, first of all, he knows how to choose dope beats, but also he knows how to rap over them joints. And it's almost like how Rick Ross, right? Rick Ross will have some of the dopest beats. I mean, even if you feel like he might be saying the same thing, it doesn't matter. He knows what he's doing when he's rapping to those beats. So same thing for 100 Grand Royce here. Also in May, Exhibit, Kingmaker, very dope album. June, Davies and Young Chris, Fine Dining. This is the only thing I have down for June. I probably listened to it the entire month. They put out a deluxe. I was like, this fits this album. I like this collaboration better than Davies and Ransom. And Ransom is crazy with the bars. But what I like about this versus that collaboration, this collaboration with Young Chris, it's still got some rapping, it's still got some bars, but it's like real cool. You know what I'm saying? Like when I mean cool, like I'm talking like phone tap cool, more money, more. I'm not saying they Nas and AZ, but they sound good as a group. I think they sound more balanced, whereas Ransom and Davies can sound like extremely monotone because their flows and their inflection and their voices never really change. So it feels more like they're just taking turn rapping, even if you like it, right? Because I like it. Something about the Young Chris project just is more of my speed as far as my listening experience. And then also, it was June. It might have got warm outside and the music just fit like I could put the t-shirt on, y'all, and come outside. So, pause if that needed a pause. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So July. July is crazy. Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo 2. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm a huge Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist fan, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Alfredo. I felt like it took away from Freddie Gibbs a little bit because of, he's pure energy when he rapping, and the beats was just kind of real dreary. This one though, part 2 is dope. Is it going to be in my top 5? It's definitely going to be a part of my best in the year. I just don't know top 5, but got a lot of spins, continues to get a lot of spins. The clips, like God sorted them out. Look here, I already done called the album a classic already. I've been listening to it months in a row. Like even with new albums dropping that I like a lot, like Mobb Deep, I'm listening to Mobb Deep all the time. But when I'm like, all right, let me give that album a rest, I start hearing, The Birds Don't Sing playing in my head, and I press play, and it's like a roller coaster that you can't get off. And it's just, that album's just dope. So also in July, Raekwon's The Emperor's Clothes. I like this album a lot from Raekwon. In the beginning, it was just like, oh, it was cool. But over time, it's also kind of grown on me. I found myself listening to it a lot. Even though those skits, I skip them. But again, if you like Raekwon, you like his style of rapping, you like hearing him on songs with Nas and Ghostface and Method Man, to name a few, you should check this album out. I think it's pretty dope. August, Jid God Does Like Ugly, a surprise album. I've known about Jid since he came to the rap scene. Always thought he was nice, but I was never really interested enough to, like not only listen to his albums, but wonder like, when is he dropping another one? I didn't really care most of the time. And sometimes when I saw that he was dropping an album, I wouldn't even go listen, but I was hearing so much leading up to this album that I was like, this album might be crazy. And it is. July was crazy, y'all. Well, July was crazy, but following up July with August was even crazier, because also on that list is Westside Gunn, Hills Have Eyes 2. Hills Have Eyes 1 was an EP and barely that. The beats were dope, but you were getting like one verse per song from Westside Gunn, and it was just forgettable. Hills Have Eyes 2 gives Westside Gunn's 12, which I think is one of the best of the year, top 5, a run for its money. Westside Gunn got 2, y'all, in the same year to me, that are dope and worth checking out. Shay Noir, the other guys, No Validation. She released a couple of projects. This is the one. This is the one you should listen to. Thank me later. Ghostface Killer Supreme Clientele 2, even though I am not a fan of gruff voice Ghostface, and you don't get only gruff voice Ghostface, but you get some older tracks too that give you that old Ghost vibe as far as voice quality. It's a good album. It's a decent follow-up. It's not a classic to me, but it's Ghostface. And it's not, what was that joint? Set the Tone. It's not that, where, you get one half of some of the ghosts you remember, and then you get like experimental rap for the kids over this beat. Nah, this is pure Ghostface personality in every record, in every skit, which most of these skits are not skippable because they're also funny. I thought it was a dope album. I could see a lot of people having this in their best of the year. So also, August is stacked, y'all. Also in August, couldn't leave out Low Blow and What Up Vern, Try a Sample. Again, I didn't even hear this in August. I might have heard this in late September into October. And I'm glad I did, because when I heard the Jeezy and Drama mixtape or album they put out, where Jeezy's rapping over all these 80s soul beats, I thought some were cool, but for the most part, they were just gathering songs and like looping them, and he was just rap over them. But on Try a Sample by Low Blow and What Up Vern, it's familiar. It's the same formula, but production wise, they transformed the sound of the beats to be more of a hip hop track. It almost feels like the original, right? Now, when I say that, I don't mean like the original record. Like, no, like the hip hop beat sounds like it's an original beat with no samples. And then you hear the familiar, loop where you're like, oh, ain't no stopping us now. But it's done with such finesse that I just thought it was very dope. Project worth mentioning. And lastly, in September, and I'm not going to do October because it's not over yet, right? But y'all know what's on there. I want to give a shout out to Currency 915. Now, Currency, within the last couple of weeks, has probably released 4 or 5 projects that have dates dating all the way back to July, because he did a July joint. I think he did an August joint, obvious September, but he might have done 2. He might have done 2 in July and 2 in August, and then this one in September, and maybe there's another one coming in October. But the joint from September is the one. All the other records were cool, typical, Currency. 915 is the one where I feel like that was a bag. Like, if he didn't do all of these projects related to dates and he just did that one, I think that would be enough, because it opens with a very dope record and it's consistent throughout. It's not long. They're more so EPs and albums. But you should definitely check it out if you're a Currency fan. So there you have it. You've gotten the best albums that I could think of for each month in 2025. So that means starting with the end of October, I will do a straight up October list, and then a November list, and then in December, I will do my best of the year. So what are some of the best albums released throughout this year to you? Did I leave something off that you like, yo, you should check this out? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. Check out the audio podcast if that's your bag on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast listening. And also subscribe to the channel right here on YouTube. If you really want to support, become a member. You get exclusive videos. You get to watch them first. You get to have input, right? I take ideas from members as opposed to just anyone off the streets. I don't know you like that. But there are other ways to support. You can support by purchasing some merch, a hat, hoodie season. It's hoodie season outside. You can change the style. You can change the fabric to be something really cheap because it's cheaper to purchase, or something really high quality because that's all you do is high quality clothing. We have everything from stickers to mugs to whatever you can think about, And if you're still rocking t-shirts or it's warm where you live, you can get a t-shirt also. Remember, I think this is the thing that some people don't get, is that you can change the color. So if you think that hoodie looks better in gray than red or blue or yellow or orange, you could do that. The links are on the channel. Check it out. I appreciate all forms of support, including sharing this video with people you know would enjoy this kind of content. Until next time, y'all, I'm not a critic, I'm a fan. Peace.